The I'm not ready yet is a common theme that happens, I think, for all of us. It's just an ongoing day-to-day experience. Something comes up that feels unknown or foreign. It's brand new. You've never done it before. You don't know what the outcome's gonna be. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know who the players are. You don't know how you're gonna be in it or who you need to be to meet yourself to get that. So it becomes the whole, I'm not ready yet, I'll freeze, I'll stop, I won't do it. And I always know, and this is the hardest thing because especially for high achieving women and very, very driven people anyway, entrepreneurs, CEOs, everything, anyone I've ever talked to, fear is the driver in that. And a lot of people don't want to say that out loud. It's like the 4-letter F word nobody wants to share. Fear is the driver. Fear is the deep-rooted feeling that you get when you hesitate or you say, I'm not ready yet. And you're like, why? Why are you not ready yet? It's because you're afraid of whatever that is. And you say, not yet. I'm not good enough yet. I'm not wanting that yet. But really, you're just afraid. Most of the time, what I hear from people that I work with, the internal dialogue is almost like a spin cycle. I call it a spiral. If you ever think about a tornado, it just like feels like a swirly spiral of anxiety, of, you know, the fear is the driver, but the anxiety, you're feeling low, you're low energy, you're starting to go down, and you tell yourself things like, I can't do this, I'm not ready, which we just talked about. I want to quit. What if I just am not good enough? What if they see me? The imposter syndrome creeps in and they go, what if they see me, they find me out? Like, what if they know that I'm not good at this? Or what if I didn't get enough certifications? Or what if they find on this thing that they hired me and thought it was a mistake to do that? Those thoughts keep coming in. That self-doubt is the biggest killer, I think, of everyone. And it becomes, if you let it continue and you don't stop it in its tracks and you don't be aware of it and recognize it, it'll just go into that, what I call the spiral tornado. I mean, it literally becomes a tornado, gets bigger and bigger and bigger until you can't control it. The cost, I feel like, is tremendous. I ask this question on my intake form with clients. I actually ask this question often throughout the process. What is that costing you? And what is the benefit? Because they'll often say, oh, they feel like internally this benefits them in some way. Coming from that place of scarcity or fear benefits them. They don't always realize it, and that's what we uncover and that's what we talk about. But what it costs them is opportunities. It costs them relationships. It costs them presence. It costs them ideas and innovation, creativity. It costs them the ability to see themselves in a way that other people see and are actually giving them or gifting them sometimes a full in alignment. Like, I want you. You're the one. You're the person. I want to hire you. I want to work with you. I want to do this with you. And then they self-sabotage to the point where they say they actually cost the entire thing and it all falls flat. That's the saddest part to me. That's the saddest thing I've ever seen, is when someone just completely loses everything because they went backwards, they retreated, and then they spiraled themselves into a place where they couldn't see their way out of it. I think we've been trained to think that, to be honest, that everything is starting over means failure. Starting over, and then why do we think failure is bad when every single top CEO, every Gary Vee, all these famous people talk about how failure is actually feedback, or failure actually informs you or gives you a lesson or tells you something. And then if you don't fail, you're not learning something, or if you don't fail, you're not doing it right. We've heard these all over the place from all of these famous people. Yet we still, to this day, think that the starting over means failure, and failure means bad. Failure means I didn't do it. Failure means something about me. They make it so meaningful about them and about their worth. And really, the starting over, the reframe of that is I'm starting over, but not from scratch. I'm starting over with all of this experience. I'm starting over with 2 clients that are staying with me. I'm starting over with my team, and then we're just gonna rebuild this. When I lost everything in my business, literally, I felt that. I felt like I was starting over, and that meant zero. And then I had to slow down with coaches and other people that came in and supported me and said, Tyler, no, you're not starting over from scratch. You are starting from a place of experience. Take what you've already done and build from that. instead of from brand new, which can be really challenging. That's why often we're wanting people to do it when they're young and they're like hungry and they're excited. You can be hungry and excited at any stage of life if you really care about the thing that you're building or you care about the thing you're starting. Yeah. So I don't think it really matters if you're 20 or you're 60 or you're 80. You can start something and really get behind it, be passionate about it, and make it happen. I think if you've missed your window, I always ask these questions. I'm such a curious person, so I want to go deeper with that. I want to challenge people with that. Why do you think that you are missing a window? What window did you miss? Whose window? Who made the window? Like, you made the window. So you can also open that window, close that window. I mean, you get to create your own reality. So if somebody else said that to you in your life, or people have told you that all along your career, or whatever's happened, you think that? Society, social media, all of it, we can blame it on anything we want to. At the end of the day, we get to decide. And those choices matter in those moments. What you do next matters. So when you say to yourself, my window's closed, guess what your window is? It's closed. But when you say it's open, or I'm open to it being open, I want to open it a crack and peek through and see what it feels like, or see outside a little bit, it will do that. Either one that you choose is a choice, and either one is valid. So my thing is, do you really want to be? And then you have to pick that choice that goes right along with that. And that usually is the open window, but we say that it's closed. You just told yourself that, but guess what? The worst part is, what we don't stop and think about is that those lies or the betrayals or those things have been handed down to us. Yeah. They sometimes aren't even ours. They were from family, grandparents, teachers, just coaches in your high school. Along the way, someone told you enough times, and then you started telling yourself, and then you started believing it. That's really all it is. So by that same token, can you just tell yourself the opposite? That's kind of my question that I ask people. And usually I get this look. Oh, I didn't think about that. I usually get that, because when do we give ourselves time to stop and think about, what if I just did it this way instead? What does that look like? And I don't think that we are really interested all the time in experimenting, and experimenting is extremely important to find out and discover what we can actually do or what this needs to be. We just don't take the time to do it because we're too scared, or people have told us it won't work. But that's somebody else's thing. That's not our thing. Yeah, maybe it won't work for you, but it absolutely would work for me. Or maybe it doesn't. And then I go, okay, but then this other thing pops out of it that I never expected, and then I get to do that thing now. I totally feel like I'm not ready for most of the things I put together. Even just this latest offer that I put out in the world was a big one, of just letting people see me as an advisor or a mentor, or this person that can guide them to a different place with their leadership or with their decision making. I never thought I would be that person, but guess why? I'm great at that, because I've had to do that for so many years myself. I've had to make hard decisions when stakes were low, when stakes were high. I've had to get outside of myself and do the things I didn't think I could do yet. And then I just did them. I've challenged myself and done fun activities and adventures to make myself feel more confident. So every time I did that, I just got better and better and better at it. And then that's it. But every single day of my life, every project, every launch, every phone call, every proposal you send out, everything is a little bit of that. Is still there. Just am I ready yet? Okay, hit send. Yeah. Just hit send. For me personally, starting over means something different today than it did 5 or 6 years ago when I lost everything in COVID and the pandemic, and I really felt that deep depression of just, what do I do next? And I felt down. I literally was laying on the floor most days, and I just felt low. I was not engaged with my family, with my friends. Obviously, we're in a pandemic. I couldn't even see people anyway. And that felt so isolating, more than just people not being in my world physically. It felt isolating, like a betrayal to me, because I'd always been a builder and always want to do things. And I thought, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And I couldn't get out of it. And other people had to come in and kind of pull me out of that. So I know that feeling firsthand of the spiral, of the down, that feeling when you're on the floor, just like, I'm done, I quit. And then when I want to start over now, because like I said, I've put myself in positions on purpose where I had to build confidence, where I had to do something that I thought I couldn't do and just see how it goes. where I experimented, where I said yes before I was ready, or maybe if I didn't even fully believe it yet, where I hit send. All of those little baby steps, those micro shifts, have led me to where now starting over looks like 6 years later, I'm just like, yes, I'll start, let's start. I come up with an idea, I come up with a name, I come up with a title, I come up with an event. Anything that I create now, I'm a yes to. It's a full yes. And when it isn't, I question that and try to figure out who, what, how, what's going on with that, what's happening there. But everything is starting over. It feels so good to me now. Like second nature. It just feels like, let's do it. Oh, let's start, let's begin. And then I can help other people with that too. And that's what I really love, is seeing other people in that space, me being able to recognize it and then saying, oh, I know exactly what's going on here. Let's go. And that's why I call it Ignite. That's the whole reason for that. Because I'm like, spark it up, just light that fire, and then you can see that go.